The City of Swift Current's video-based health and safety orientation is a simple process. Read and listen to each slide carefully. After viewing the presentation, complete the Contractor Safety Agreement and submit it to your City of Swift Current contact. Orientation. A contractor orientation session will be conducted one time every 3 years for our regular contractors and at the beginning of the job for all new contractors. Orientation attendees must include all contractor and subcontractor personnel. Why health and safety is important. Workplaces can be dangerous places. Injuries happen in all kinds of workplaces. Every week in Saskatchewan and in Canada, workers are injured or killed on the job. Here's the risk. A significant number of workplace injuries occur in the first few days of employment or after a change in duties. Getting oriented when you start a new job with a new employer or even with the same employer helps you prevent being injured. Our health and safety policy. The City of Swift Current has a health and safety policy. Overall, the policy indicates that the city is committed to a strong safety program that protects its staff, its property, and the public from accidents. However, in order for the program to succeed, it requires all managers, supervisors, workers, and contractors to be responsible and accountable for the overall safety initiatives. Complete and active participation by everyone, every day, in every job is necessary for the safety excellence the City of Swift Current expects. An injury and accident-free workplace is our goal. In order to meet this goal, the City of Swift Current meets or exceeds the Saskatchewan Occupational Health and Safety Act and Regulations 1996. Environmental expectations. The contractor is expected to operate in a manner which protects the environment and the health and safety of their employees and citizens of the city. Releases to the environment, including spills, gas releases, explosions, etc., will be treated as a very serious matter. A release constitutes potential for groundwater contamination, surface water contamination, or release of materials into the atmosphere, even if the material released is not generally considered hazardous. The contractor must provide impermeable secondary containment in storage areas where flowable materials are subject to spillage. Contractor responsibilities. Promote health and safety awareness. Cooperate with the city in all manners of health and safety. Follow safe work practices and procedures. Comply with all provincial safety requirements. Advise the appropriate City of Swift Current personnel of any safety matters that may impact on the operations of the municipality. Provide the City of Swift Current with a copy of the Contractor's Contract Services Health and Safety Program as applicable to the job. Set a good example and conduct regular inspections of the work area. CoSC rules and regulations applicable to contractors. Every contractor will adhere to the Saskatchewan Occupational Health and Safety Act Regulations 1996. Creating or contributing to any unsafe or unsanitary act or condition is prohibited. Discriminating by talk or action against groups or individuals on the basis of race, color, creed, religion, religious affiliation, marital status, sex, sexual orientation, disability, veteran status, pregnancy, or national origin is prohibited. The contractor shall require their employees to obey all precautionary warning signs, product and process labels, and posted instructions. All cautionary, safety, and warning signs are posted for a reason and must be abided by. Posting or removing notices, signs on bulletin boards, or City of Swift Current property without specific permission is prohibited. Contractors are required to comply with the personal protective equipment requirements as determined by Saskatchewan Occupational Health and Safety Regulations, PPE as identified on a safety data sheet for any controlled products being used, and as the City of Swift Current PPE policy describes. Possession or use of firearms or other weapons while performing work for the City of Swift Current is strictly prohibited. Possession or use of intoxicating liquor or drugs while performing work for the city is strictly prohibited and may result in termination of contract. The contractor shall confine their activities to the assigned work areas. Smoking in areas other than designated smoking areas. Smoking is only allowed in designated areas outside the facility. No smoking inside any City of Swift Current facility. Immediately report damage of city property, city tools, and/or equipment to your city contact. Report and record all unsafe conditions, incidents, injuries, and near misses, and submit a copy of the report record to the City of Swift Current Health and Safety Coordinator. OH&S legislation. The City of Swift Current requires that all contractors are familiar with and comply with the requirements outlined in the Saskatchewan Employment Act and Saskatchewan Occupational Health and Safety Act and Regulations 1996. Lockout, tagout, verify. Lockout tagout will be used when there is work to be done on any machine or on any energy source, electrical, air, gas, hydraulic, etc., or to control any other hazards. The contractor must enforce lockout tagout procedures in accordance to the SASC OH&S Regs 1996. The contractor will be responsible for providing all necessary equipment to comply with Saskatchewan OH&S Regs 1996. Fall prevention protection. Fall prevention protection must be used when work is performed where a worker may fall a distance of 10 feet or more, or where a fall from a lesser height involves an unusual risk of injury. The first priority is to assure that a fall is prevented. The second priority is to provide protection should a fall happen. All workers must be instructed in the inspection and use of the fall protection system and the procedures before use of any component of the fall protection system. All anchor points will be of sufficient strength to withstand a 5,000-pound shock load in accordance to the SASC OH&S regulations. Workers' Compensation Board. All contractors, unless otherwise identified within your contract, must maintain their account in good standing with the Workers' Compensation Board. The City of Swift Current may randomly request clearances from the WCB to ensure contractor accounts are current. Identification of hazards. If you identify a potential hazard or unsafe condition that may affect the safety of yourself, one of your employees, or a city employee, stop and immediately notify your city contact, who will have the condition remedied to prevent an incident from occurring. Personal protective equipment. Depending upon the location within the city that your services have been contracted for, there may be site-specific personal protective equipment requirements. You are required to discuss these PPE requirements with your CoSC project manager and comply with them at all times. Some sites may require mandatory PPE items, approved CSA hard hat, CSA safety boots, eye protection, high-vis clothing, CSA Class 2, hearing protection where noise levels exceed 85 decibels, respiratory protection where applicable, hand protection where required. Tools, vehicles, equipment. Tools, vehicles, and equipment must be in safe operating condition in accordance to manufacturer's specifications and recommendations. All equipment operators must be competent. Only qualified persons will operate equipment if they are certified and competent to operate as defined by the Saskatchewan Employment Act and OH&S regulations. Workers will not start or operate any equipment until an inspection is completed. All powered mobile equipment must be inspected by a competent person for defect and unsafe conditions as often as is necessary to ensure that it is capable of safe operation. WHMIS 2015. If the work that you are performing requires the use of any controlled products, all staff must have current WHMIS 2015 certification and must have received site-specific training instruction on the potential hazards associated with the products you are using. Hazardous materials. The contractor will provide the CoSC with a list of all hazardous materials that the contractor brings into the workplace. Provide the city with a current safety data sheet, SDS, of the hazardous material the contractor is using, and have the SDS for the controlled product on site. Label all containers being brought into the workplace. Provide its employees with information and training on the hazardous chemicals in their workplace with WHMIS 2015 as per SASC OH&S Regs 1996. The City of Swift Current will provide contractors with a list of hazardous materials to which the contractor or subcontractor may be exposed to in the workplace. Make available to the contractor or subcontractor and their employees at SDS for each substance and material inventory. Notify the contractor of appropriate emergency procedures for the workplace. Incident reporting. The contractor is to inform your city project manager contact and the health and safety coordinator of the CoSC of the incident. Investigate all of their own incidents to determine root cause and appropriate corrective actions. Investigation reports are to be forwarded to the CoSC contract administrator and occupational health and safety coordinator. The contractor investigation report will include any relevant information, including training and qualifications, certificates, inspection records, statements, hazard and risk assessments. If a dangerous occurrence occurs, it is the contractor's responsibility to report the occurrence to occupational health and safety and to contact the CoSC OH&S coordinator. Dangerous occurrences are defined in Section 9 SASC OH&S regulations. Emergency response and planning. Before beginning work in the facility, the contractor will provide the City of Swift Current with a specific emergency plan which addresses the appropriate responses and expectations of the contractor at the location in the time of an emergency. If the contractor does not have an emergency response plan, they must adopt the CoSC emergency response plans. The contractor must comply fully with this plan, communicate it to his/her employees, and include any necessary training to ensure compliance. Report all emergencies or fire immediately to the City of Swift Current designate. Prime contractor required sites. A prime contractor needs to be assigned if there are greater than 10 workers under the direction of at least 2 contractors at a site where construction activities are taking place. Prime contractor shall ensure that work is conducted in compliance with the prime contractor regulations. If the City of Swift Current is deemed a non-required work site at the time of the contract execution but turns into a required site at a later date, then the City of Swift Current is to be the prime contractor. There will be situations where the CoSC and the contractor will not be the prime contractor. The CoSC, the site owner, is required to be the prime contractor if there is no other contractual agreement in place. The prime contractor is required to identify a competent person to be the worksite coordinator to oversee the work on behalf of the prime contractor. Prepare a prime contractor safety management plan that explains how the requirements are to be met. Post the written safety management plan at the worksite. It is the responsibility of the contractors to cooperate with the prime contractor. This ensures information regarding health, safety, and the environment and coordination of worksite activities are properly communicated between all parties. Ensure contractors have completed all mandatory training requirements prior to starting work. Perform hazard risk assessments. Confirm qualifications and conduct orientations. Confirm emergency response plans and monitor the work through observations and site inspections. Contractor Safety Agreement. We thank you for taking the time to view the City of Swift Current's Health and Safety Contractor Orientation. Please submit your completed agreement, which has been provided, and related documentation to your City of Swift Current contact. By signing the Contractor Safety Agreement, you are verifying that you understand the contents of this Contractor Safety Orientation and agree with the requirements. Thank you.